Gonna spawn
not
mid
really
one.
invisible.
Well, he was smoked briefly,
Sure.
but they spot out mid one, and no pressure on him.
No,
You'll be fine.
yet. So we do have a bit of the invasion coming out here from Viking over into the Dire area. We've got a nice ward placed over on the side. Going to be able to spot any sort of rotation, swapping of lanes. And 2 observers right next to each other. They do have a D ward here if they'd like to drop it. And it is within vision, so Aramis is going to be able to get a nice start off here. 100 gold going over to him.
Good for them. Slight itemization difference here for Topson in the mid lane. Opts for 2 Iron Branches and a Blightstone. So this is his understanding of how to win this lane matchup, lower his armor, and therefore get these better physical trades out. So we'll see if that impacts things versus the Wraith Band Rush that Boom went for last game.
All right, well, runes are getting snapped up now. Looks like it should be a fairly even split. And all right, we got the mid camera on.
Just watch the mid split for the rest of the game.
Just the rest of the game. Nothing else matters here. Just Boom versus Topson.
And so Topson going to go fast bottle, it looks like, with the Blightstone. Probably needs the extra regen. If he does believe that Void Spirit has generally better harass, he'll need to bottle a little bit faster to leverage his mana. Flame Guard, too much magic damage here. Resonant Pulse only does 70 damage, so pretty easy to rely on Flame Guard on the first wave.
Already the harass is on between the 2 brothers. There is some movement going on in the other lanes too.
No, I don't believe it.
Okay. I like how we have side lane cam, you know, just in case anyone's wondering. For those of you joining in, it is all about this mid matchup. Topson versus Boom. Who's going to come out on top?
I'm taking a decent amount of damage, but so did Chad. So not too bad. Soxa pulls the creep wave per usual. And Monkey King's not going to be able to lifesteal off of this either. So far, Topson doing great. 4 last hits. 4-1 versus the 3-0 of Boom here. Range creep, everything looking about normal. Basically just a normal mid lane, except for the whole drama that we have before. Other than that.
Just seeing a lot of that missile spam coming out in top lane. It's pretty annoying to have to deal with, but pretty simple stuff. Seb slicing away here in the bottom lane, throwing his weight around. But it's still very evenly matched here in this mid lane. Yep.
So I guess Topson is just better. And we can end it right here. Nah, he won a game convincingly. I mean, both of these are heroes he has a lot of experience in, so for whatever reason, just won his lane off. Prophet in a little bit of trouble top.
Yep, No-Tail's taking a lot of harass. I think No-Tail is going to be the first blood, but Aramis is going to be next to fall. So, a little bit of trading top. Seller's Courier does get hunted down by Saxa as well.
Seb in trouble now.
Seb, nice Inkswell coming out. Another little interrupt, though, coming out from Saxa will make it so that he's able to walk away.
No regen on Seb, though, so he's going to have some come out. He does have Tango coming. There's a stop coming for Saxa, which will help him get back in the lane, but that's the lane to be careful of. You know, other than the mid lane, definitely the off lane is one where the action will happen.
Yeah, aside from the extra couple denies that Topson has, very, very even. I don't even know what the items look like on them because we have our side lane cam. I don't know. All right, so we've got plenty of regen left over here on Topson. Not as much left here for the Void Spirit, but we do have... Okay, the Courier's coming out over to the mid lane. Gonna refresh a little bit. The side lane cam comes back up. I thought there was a big fight going on. I was like, oh gosh, I'm missing it. But we're just back to side lane. Paying attention to them.
One thing that makes a lot of sense about what Topson did here with the Blightstone is that, I mean, Boom obviously was using Sleight of Fist in the previous match as well, but it gives you 80 bonus hero damage. And by buying a Blightstone, you're increasing that by another 10% damage. So he's just like getting more harassment out of the right clicking that he is doing, and that's helped him to go basically even on this regen trade, which is part of the reason that Boom had a rough lane. So kind of just a small variation here, maybe just safer play, and Topson's going to go even, basically showing that he's not concerned about this matchup. But you know, it's kind of crazy to think that it still happens, but you know, even against some of the best players in the world, you will sometimes get these really one-sided mid matchups.
We are reaching the 4-minute rune rotation here, and you can see some of the supports are making their way over now. Boom, gonna try his luck in the bottom end. Topson's just hanging out over there.
Going to delay Topson from getting to runes. You wanted to use Flame Guard to push out. Now as a result, there's no way he can contest top while still getting last hits, so doesn't matter that much. Not really. He's still up in last hits. Thompson has the matchup understanding that's clearly better, but Seb pressured again here.
On the bottom lane, they
Stack.
have the Inkswell. They start winding up, and that'll connect. Nice Impale again coming out from Saksa. They throw out the Boundless. Not quite enough damage to get the kill on Seb. He's had a couple close calls at this point. But I do see that Boom has teleported out of his lane.
Interesting. Back to heal, I guess. He wasn't able to get the rune himself, obviously, because it was top instead of bottom, so had to go back a little bit earlier than normal. Top's at 5.5, so more advantage to him, but it's not insurmountable this game. Like, certainly Boom can have an okay laning stage, and once he hits 6, we'll see him probably move around the map, probably to the bot lane, to really truly punish the Underlord. Bounty fights now on the bot lane. Saksa is gonna be able to get both. Maybe doesn't have enough for stun. Yep, and Celery steals it.
Never refuse gold given.
Underlord is teleported right back down to the bottom area now. He's refreshed, ready to go again. So we're getting closer to the level 6 over on Thompson. Looks like
That's really
poking at Celery in the bottom lane. Not gonna be able to get enough damage though.
Don't really see Thompson getting a kill on Boom, but certainly gonna pressure him. Crucially, Thompson just keeps waiting. He's been doing a nice thing in the mid lane. He basically waits to use Flame Guard until Boom uses at least one of his skills. Because you need both Remnant and Resonant Pulse to break through the Flame Guard. So as long as he just waits to use it until Boom goes for a last hit with Resonant Pulse, then he basically gets to abuse Flame Guard in a more effective way.
Bottom lane, it looks like Seb is taking a lot of damage. The Boundless comes in. They finally managed to get that kill on that pesky Underlord.
Not bad. The fact that it took that long was really good, considering this was the last pick of the draft. Shad's going to have an above-average laning stage, but his last hits are not, like, insanely incredible. Gyro's doing better, 36 and 17 on Gyro versus the 26 and 10 of the Monkey King. So mid one's still doing great, considering he has the weaker carry traditionally. With the Gyro, I think this is a good start for OG.
We're going to see Boom making a rotation now. Actually going to go top. Maybe try to slow down mid one as Aramis getting into position here. Does manage to go and land the shackle. Casey's taking a lot of damage. Does have the axe to step forward though. Call down coming out from mid one. Not going to be quite enough damage as Casey's able to step out of it. And Boom collects himself a kill.
Nice rotation. Did this ward spot him going top? This dire one? I don't know if it might not be old enough, but either way, mid one gets punished. Now some mid pressure comes in to offset this. Boom rotates over to help, but with no Astral Step abilities, he's got to be a little careful. And a DD on tops, and look how much damage they're getting into this tower. Celery's going to try to slow it down with a Stroke of Fate. It's going to help a little bit, but these creeps are lasting a long time.
Throw out the Remnant, draw Thompson back underneath the tower. Sox is also here, though. They're going to try to punish this. Getting into position, looking for the Impale. Will be able to land over here onto Boom as they'll try to save him. As they throw the Inkswell out, they can turn this around. They do manage to get the kill onto No Tail, but Boom will go down as Thompson's able to just go right forward and get the final hit off.
And mid one rotates as well. They want to just take this tower stupidly early here. And they've still got the DD. This is like one of the most valued DDs I've seen in a long time. And yeah, tower goes down at 7 minutes. All they lose out of this is slight farming time for Gyrocopter, basically. Yeah, they lost the, for Nature's Prophet 5 position? Who cares? Absolutely great rotation here from OG to solidify this map control. Now the game's going to get a little bit harder for Void Spirit. He's not going to be able to just, like, play in the mid lane, hit creeps, accelerate. He's going to have to move around and get kills.
Shad needs to be so careful. The Pit of Malice comes out. He goes and throws down the Boundless, but they have the Impale. And just like that, down goes Shad. They're just playing with so much tempo right now, Purge.
They are, yeah. And now Gyro basically making use of his levels. He has a lot of damage output as a carry at this phase of the game, and if you gank correctly, then it's absolutely going to pay off. So big rotations there. Thompson thinking about heading over, but for now he's just going to farm. We'll see if they try to respond to this, but it looks like they're just trying to do the opposite thing on the other side of the map. Dive the No-Tail.
Yep, they definitely spot him over here. The Hex will come out, and we do get these teleports, though, coming out very, very quickly. No Tail taking a lot of damage. He goes down. Thompson now trying to punish Boom. They do manage to put the missile over on him. Monkey King, though, Shad standing up on the tree line. He's going to hop down. He sees mid one. Doesn't quite manage to land the Bandless, though, as mid one tries to run away. Kazu using the Roar. They'll find the kill, but they also manage to take down Kazu, as now Shad, he tries to dodge. He cannot do it. Thompson gets himself a double kill. Aramis now trying to run away. Celery, he's got the Inkswell. He's trying everything, but he cannot save the Shaman, as now the rest of the side of OG, they're here, and they're ready to try to get the final kill. Thompson gets a triple kill with that last flight.
Jeez. Man, what good play there by OG. No-tail baiting, basically saying, I'm going to run for it, haha, and they use their spells that instantly gets canceled because they, at the same moment that he gets shown, they start teleporting all their cores in. And even though they lost the gyrocopter, Topson getting all of this net worth is certainly going to put them in a good spot. He went for a quick Orb of Corrosion, he's queuing up Maelstrom afterwards. His damage output and amount of disable is just really strong. He's also just left his Flame Guard at 2 points. He's all about disable and nuke right now with his, and his Searing Chains is so leveled up now. We're kind of in a similar situation as last game. The only difference being that his opponent is not as behind as they were.
This is very quickly turning into the Topson show again, like we saw in game number 2. And you gotta be a little bit nervous about that if you're a Viking. Ooh, cancel TP in the top lane. No-tail tries to buy himself enough time, but they do have the damage. Kazu will find the kill.
I think one of the other crucial difference though is that Gyro's not going to be as stabilized as a PA was in the last game. So OG will try to defend top tower.
Have to be careful here, Kazu. They have vision on him. They do have the double damage pop, but they'll turn around. They'll clean up some of these boars and some of these little necrobuck creeps. Give them some nice gold.
Much harder for Gyro or for Beast of Pressure without summons anyway. So
they almost timed out.
Put so much effort into that. I mean, you don't ever know how long they're necessarily going to be up for or whatever, but yeah, then here's the issue with Gyro. Pressure's out the lane a little bit. He's picked up a Falcon Blade, normal Gyro item here, but they rotate and defend against it, so he's got to just farm a little bit slower than he might want to. But now they're rotating bottom. Now that they've defended top, they feel like they can pressure themselves.
Topson has his eyes over here on the Monkey King. Shad trying to hide in the trees. The teleports are coming out though from the side of Viking, as they do manage to go and hold Topson over in the corner. They have the Astral Step, they have the Remnant. Down goes Topson. They took down Aramis. Shad's not looking too great here. Doesn't manage to get the lifesteal off, and still, boom, he's able to find the kill on Soxa with a little bit of help from Celery.
Great rotation from Aramis there to react to that, locking down Topson, making sure that he could not escape from the danger with the wards and everything, and they keep Shad alive. They need a little bit more damage. They needed a homing missile to hit, I don't know, maybe somebody else instead, but it all went on Shad. Shad ends up getting in the trees, defending himself, and Topson's first big error, and a lot of gold going to, boom, the Void Spirit. So, by the way, he's 4-1-1. The laning stage didn't go amazing, but he's been there for the crucial rotations, and even though he's died once, he's doing a great job to offset this.
I mean, that's what you have to do as a good mid player, right? If your lane doesn't go correctly, you've got to go and make your own opportunities. And I think he's definitely doing that.
Mid one, level 9 here, queuing up an S and Y. Bucks are rotating down, ready to fight as well. See if they can grab Shad, but it might be a little bit tough.
Do you have a smoke play coming out from the side of OG as Topson and Soxa are just combing through the jungle and maybe thinking of making a play over into the mid lane, but there's no one there. Shad, though, is going to take a missile to the head, eventually. But not under any direct pressure here. As the top lane, they are trying to make the moves over onto Seb. And he's very tanky, but he's not tanky enough because he does go down to Kazu. And they're hunting now for this Monkey King. They're trying to break his tree, but at the last second, Shad, he's just hippity-hoppeting. Land over, and he's eventually found by Topson, and he is just gonna get chonked down here.
Huge kill. Very trinket, definitely going a long ways there. Had to do a lot of remnants, just a lot of extra mana, and able to go all the way and grab him. It's a nice advantage. 3k advantage now for OG, despite losing Seb on the opposite side of the map. And now they invade. I think Gyro pivoted on item builds. Mid one making so many. It's interesting how many different itemizations he queues up during this game, but he goes Mask of Madness in the end.
Do we like
something that he can use? Yeah, it's one of Gyro's issues is he doesn't jungle very well compared to most carries. And you can solve this by buying Maelstrom maybe or Ags, but both of those items are a little bit slow to get. Mask of Madness kind of solves the same problem. A lot of attack speed allows him to jungle without having to spend tons of mana. And should allow him to transition to other items. I'm not really sure where he'll go after this. It's common to go Ags, but some people find that it's just weak right now. So they just prefer like BKB fighting items, and then they just get Gyro in the fights constantly to help leverage his net worth that way instead.
Well, I think if they're playing tempo, doesn't a BKB make the most sense here?
It does, yeah. Yeah, for that reason, basically. He can show up to the fights, he still feels valuable without having to worry about just being chain bursted by magic damage.
That was a pretty big stack that they took over here. They even used the Serpent Wards to help out. Be a nice influx of cash.
Good. for now, game is pretty even across the map, but small net worth advantage for OG still. Once Thompson finishes Maelstrom, he'll farm a little bit faster here, but generally just good splits of farm. Soxa getting close to his Blink Dagger, about 1,000 away. Once he gets that, it'll be really easy for him to follow up on allies. And it'll probably be like Slight Chains from Ember into Blink Stun from Nyx, or they'll do Hit a Malice on Underlord. They're smoking in. They might find Thompson though.
Get Thompson here. Boom, jumping forward immediately. Remnant, he sidesteps it, nicely done here by Thompson. The rest of the team, though, quickly collapsing again. Mid one leading the charge. They're already walking out. We'll throw out an Aether Remnant, draw back in. See Seb staying close by. And Soxa standing on the high ground, hoping he can get some sort of information, but they do have the Necros online.
Very dangerous for Thompson there, but he manages to get out using 2 Remnants.
Ooh, it's a nice Remnant, just anticipating that they're going to try to go for the rune, so they go forward, put a little damage over onto Seb, but Aramis over on the side, they get the double chain off here.
Double Strackle.
And can they finish up, though? Do they have the damage? They take down Aramis, now they use the Roar. Boom's taking so much damage over on the back lines, it's not looking super great for him as Kazu falls. Boom, he's got a missile coming for his head, Seb trying to cut them off. To see that Celery's over here, nice dodge, though. Celery with the Inkswell, trying to push them away. Nice silence, making sure that they can't spike Carapace, but they do, of course, have the Pit of Malice. So down goes Celery, and Boom is just left to hide in the trees.
Very ready to fight there. Nicely done. Despite the double shackle, they still end up staying alive through it. It felt like there wasn't damage follow-up. I don't think Monkey King was there, probably, is what happened. If Monkey King's there, drops his ulti, damages them while they're getting shackled, surely they can win the fight. But here's the replay once again. Take a look at the map. Yep, Monkey King all the way in the top lane. So I don't know if he showed on the creep wave just there or what, but they ran in, they forced the fight here. Nice Spike Carapace actually to limit Boom's damage. And then the Pit of Malice just limited what Boom could do damage-wise. So they just got to pick off their targets here and there after the big cooldowns were used on the Viking side. Monkey King did start rotating over, but it just wasn't worth it at that point. The fight, all of their big spells have been used, and it was better for him to go back to farming.
Nice slow death there on poor Grimstroke. All right, so 5k net worth lead going over to the side of OG. And Soxa is going to be just a little annoying here. It's going to poke away at Shad. You can see, though, that Ember is hot on his heels, and so is the Nature's Prophet. They're looking to see if they can make the play here. Shackles will land. Remnant zipping forward here. They need to be careful. There's going to be the Hex. Just a little bit outside of this Wukong's command. This is not looking great for Thompson. He needs to get out of there, and he needs to get out of there fast, but he's not going to be able to as the final hit comes off. No Remnants were left. Maybe just a little bit too greedy.
Look, that was a true Thompson play right there. Just some crazy against the wall doing insane stuff with all of his rem. When he slighted, I was like, all right, he's going to remnant. I click on him. He's so far away from it. Another kill here, maybe.
It's a good dust here as they'll go and grab themselves a Soxa and also grab themselves a neutral item. True efficiency.
People's gift for Void Spirit. Lots of raw HP here. All right, and now that they've thrown their lives away, doing a little greedy stuff against the Monkey King, it's looked good. Basically, Boom, Shad did the right thing there. He got off the tree so that Ember Spirit couldn't stun him for 4 seconds, but very punished. Now they got to defend.
The Roar comes out. They'll drop the Pit of Malice, but it doesn't matter because his Gyrocopter's just dead. He's not going to be here to go and defend. Seb, the Slight comes out, though, here from Thompson. They're going to try to clean up these Necro books at the very least. Trying to get a little space here on the tower as the Serpent Wards do chonk down on it a bit.
Honestly, not bad. I think that was pretty worthwhile considering they lost their carry for it. They defend the tower, keep map control up. A lot of big cooldowns here. Soxa already hunting too.
Aramis is trying to hold on to this Nature's Prophet for enough time, but he is slipping away. You do have Boom following up here with the Astral Step. Hex comes out again. And they find themselves a quick pickoff on No Tail, but they might be able to do a little something here against Shad. Nope. Thompson decides it's a little bit too risky because there's more people in the vicinity.
Soxa is still struggling to finish his Blink Dagger, about 200 gold away, but he's got other stuff to do. It's tough in this circumstance where, like, if he just sits in his lane, yeah, he's going to finish Blink, but then your team holds pressure off for that period of time, and it feels a little bit dangerous to slow down. Snagging a Bullwhip, very solid. Queuing up a Crimson Guard against all the physical damage of the enemy squad. Very smart pickup here.
So is it the BKB that we're seeing for the Gyrocopter? Is that next? Yes,
Yes.
it is. Okay.
Yep, 400 gold away and he'll have it. Grobo really good on Gyro. Lots of magic damage from the hero, so perfect item. But for now, It's just slowing things down a little bit on the OG side. I don't think this is too bad or anything like that. Everything's looking all right. They have decent scaling. I have less faith in Gyro as an ultra late game carry than a lot of other heroes, but I think with this kind of safe itemization, it should help limit the amount of times he dies, and therefore stabilize him a little bit more.
Yeah, because we haven't seen a lot of this hero any longer.
Eggs up on Monkey King as well, so his farm rate's going to go up even more than it was before. But yeah, Gyro's actually, his net worth is actually pretty significantly above the pack, so he's pretty happy actually. I don't know if he knows that for sure, but yeah, he's been farming well. 3, 3, and 4 and having this much net worth over your opponents, that's just because OG's been playing really aggressive on the map. Maybe it's like one of the reasons, like you can point at Thompson's Death Bottom as technically bad, but it did create space. And like doing stuff like that, even if he has some misses sometimes, is part of the reason that Shad's net worth is just not the same right now.
That was a great hawk. It just spotted out the fact that there was a smoke play that came out from the side of OG, although they are split up, so.
Cool by No-Tail. Uses treants to block camp respawns. It's another reason that they're just not farming as fast. We haven't seen this in a long time, but it's not super commonly. But spending time like that rather than farming, yeah, block the camps. Less time, less net worth for your opponents.
All right, well, there goes the tower. And Sox is doing a little bit of hunting here, realizing there's no detection over on the side. Do have it, though, over here in the castle area, so just need to be a little bit careful.
Picks up the Void Spirit. Sorry for OG when they initiate, they might go on Gyro, but it's not safe.
They're waiting for him. Look at this trap. They're hoping that Ember's gonna come right back over here to this remnant. But
Thompson would never do something so dangerous.
He's enjoying his time here in the bottom lane. He's got no reason to zip back. Spending a lot of time just camping it too.
They put
got double there. Here, Thompson.
He's playing safe. Almost got BKB of his own. He goes for it.
Goes for it, but were they? No, they weren't there anymore.
And he still hits the small camp. He's like, eh.
He's not.
If they were here, I'd be dead.
It's true. All right, well. 5k net worth lead at around 21 minutes. This Gyro has been farming very, very well.
He really has. You know, queuing up Ags next. He's got the survivability from BKB, so now his team fights feel comfortable. Buying Ags, more raw HP, better team fight, just more raw damage, but he's getting smoked at. And there's a blink on Beastmaster, actually. If they spot him at all, he gets gone.
Oh, they spotted themselves a gyrocopter. They'll use the roar, they'll use the hex, and Kezu will collect the kill.
Beautiful ink swell on initiators with long duration stuns. It's so good. Makes like any hero killable.
Well, they use the Wukong's command here in the bottom lane, trying to push back on Soxa. Do you have to be careful though, because the rest of the team, they're coming in. They know where this Monkey King is. Look at this, a 4-man gank just to take down Shad.
Really good pressure by Soxa. He's not afraid to do these little pressure moments. And yeah, they're going to get Roche out of this, but not terrible all things considered. Trading the carries for the carries. Seb's going to do some damage.
He runs in, but it's still going to the Radiant, and they still get themselves the Aegis. Oh, nice impale, Soxa. He finds the kill on Kezu, and is not going to be able to go and get the kill on Aramis. Not this time around. His courier also goes down.
Oh, he wants it so bad. Oh, the Necro dies. Too bad. Good pressure, though. I mean, getting significant kills in the response is pretty solid. Forcing your opponents back. They get to take the Tri-Camp now. Buys them more time for the BKB of Ember Spirit. And Aegis, while really effective, it's not necessarily on the guy you want it to be on. You probably want that on Monkey King there. That way it becomes harder for you to commit to killing him. But now, kill Monkey King, and yeah, Boom is still there, doing AoE damage, getting some harassment in and stuff, but Monkey King is like by far the bigger damage output for a slightly longer fight. So.
Now, are you at all concerned? Like, we're looking at the net worth now, and people seem fairly close in terms of, you know, who's on top. Are we concerned about that for OG just because they are supposed to be playing such a tempo lineup?
I mean, they could have been playing a crazy tempo lineup where they go really ahead and close the game up, but I think they're still fine with their current positioning. It's not like they have weird cores or anything like that. Like, yeah, they're maybe not the most meta, but all their heroes scale completely fine. Gyro's ahead of top net worths, and he's the hero that's maybe the most vulnerable. They've got gank potential. They kind of have all the pieces they might need, basically.
They see you, KC. Isaxa, there's a roar coming in. Nice soul bind. It's going to be able to hold them both in place. Plus the hex. They need a little bit more damage, though. Do they have it? Can they take him down? There's going to be the shackle hold. Need a little bit more. They have the BKB over here onto mid one. They need to put out more physical damage, and I'm not sure they quite have it, although Shad coming in now. It's looking pretty darn good. Boom, taking so much damage. He is going to fall, but he had the Aegis. It's absolutely fine. Shad, though, needing to be a little bit careful. They'll be able to go throw up the Pit of Malice here. As they're going to try to man fight, Seb tries to get away, but they have the Boundless. Kezi making his way over. And there's the leap over, the drag back in. This is looking like a dead Seb. It's going to take a lot of damage, though, to take him down, but eventually Shad will collect the kill.
Great initiation once again, locking down mid one so that his BKB just ends up coming really, really late there. And one thing that also hurt him, I think he ended up killing one of the Necro minions right before he got stunned, so his HP just dropped low really, really quickly. Also, because he was so low, he couldn't pop Mask of Madness. That was a little bit of a tough thing, too. Losing the bounty and your life.
Oh, no, he's going to be merciful.
Not bad. Okay. Yeah, just a little limited on mid one so far. It's difficult for him to engage because nobody else on his team is really going in other than maybe Nyx or Ember, but in these circumstances, it's actually kind of surprising me that his net worth is still really high, honestly. He's still the most farmed hero. He's 3, 5, and 4. But he's just been doing such a good job farming that it justifies it, I guess.
All right. We're seeing some more push here in the bottom lane. Do you have those big old Tyrians coming in now from No Tail?
Still have their mid tower. Getting a little bit low, but everything's fine there.
He went back for the Ags over here on mid one.
Very close. 700 gold to go, and he's got a... Oh, they're going somewhere. They're going bottom with everybody. Yeah, they want to push the tier 2. Defend mid, instantly down to bottom. Very cool move. Nice and fast.
And I don't think that Viking's going to be able to get down here quite fast enough. They just lack the sort of movement that they have coming out from the side of OG. And also, they're just already camped out here. It's pretty scary to go into that. So yeah, bottom tower will fall.
They're probably going to have to let that one go. Okay, they're going. Maybe Thompson can get it. We'll see.
Still pushing here in this bottom lane. Very aggressive here. Call down comes out. They're hoping to just clear up some of these creeps, including that Necro book. No Tail keeping back down. Kezu getting into position here. Does manage to get that roar off. Saksa was looking for the counter initiation. Do manage to stun up Boom. This is not looking good for him, but they managed to go. They get the soul bind off and the Wukong's command. Boom's actually going to be allowed to survive this. As Sep goes down and Shad is just wailing away over here, trying to just defend his towers. Oh, the jump forward again coming out for Boom. They get the silence off. He has to be careful though. It's going to be the Aether Remnant over on the side. Celery goes down. Celery, he will buy back here as axes are being thrown. The Hex comes out and they've trapped him in the wards here for Thompson. Do they have enough damage though? Can they keep him locked down long enough? Do they have the silence? It's looking damn good. Somehow though, Thompson's still alive and he's gonna escape with 100-something hit points. Maybe no Kezu's on his heels. That's a double kill now.
What a big fight for Viking there. Very crucial that they were able to keep their cores alive for as long as they did. Void Spear gets a little bit in danger. Monkey King gets a big Black King Bar initiation, and ultimately OG just got a little bit too aggressive on the high ground, and they couldn't deal with the BKB cores. They could not touch Monkey King. Gyro is not going to deal well with Monkey King, at least until he picks up another item or two, if that. But like fighting, like he's a magic immune, and he's got like 24 armor from his ulti. Like you just can't touch him as a gyrocopter. So finding some cracks in their armor here. Soxa missed a crucial blink stun as well. So just a couple small mistakes from OG to once again try to force the tempo too much, and rough for them.
I love that play from Aramis over there. He sees the double damage. He sees that Treant. He was going over there to try to deny it, and he just throws out the shackle so that way Boom can grab up the double damage. I like that.
It's a big rune for Void, as we've seen
because he knows
before.
he can't chip it down fast enough.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Slow it down even further. It's very important. Wow, he had it. Incredible.
All right. Well, we had a very large net worth lead over at the side of OG, and we have shifted considerably now to being just about even here, Purge.
Yeah, definitely looking scary for them.
All right.
Mid one's queued up a rapier He'll maybe get there eventually. It's a perfect gyrocopter item. Is it going to be enough? Maybe. It'll help.
Oh,
But here
there's
comes
a
the fight.
lot of people here. Seb considering it. They use the dust already. They'll drag back over here, try to take him out. But mid one is here. We've got the BKB over here on Boom, followed up with the roar coming out from Kazu. So Seb is the first to go down. This gyrocopter cannot stand toe-to-toe with them, as he also will end up, we lose No Tail during all of that to Boom. Saksa is going to be able to teleport out.
That's a big team fight loss for OG. I mean, once or twice here or there, it's fine, but now it feels really bad. And I think the crucial thing was Grimstroke's silence there. Throws it onto the Underlord. Underlord cannot dispel that with Guardian Greaves, and as a result, he doesn't get any spells off other than his items. No Pit of Malice, no Firestorm. And that just means that their opponents can do whatever the heck they want in that fight. Doesn't force BKBs defensively, they just get to do everything they want. Gyrocopter didn't get BKB off, but realistically, I don't think it mattered. They got everything they wanted on top of their opponents and heavily punished. And now things are starting to look really bad for OG.
Well, they even go and they use the wards here. Saksa's going to be pretty happy about that.
It's fine, but realistically, not much is happening right now. Is Roche up anytime soon? Could respawn here.
Pops in with the BKB, puts out a lot of damage over here onto KZ. He's going to be able to just teleport out, it looks like. Yeah, Shad is now trying to man-fight, and you can see that the Underlord is making his way over. Glimmer Cape, though, coming out. Do they have the detection? They'll drop a ward. Shad with the BKB is going to be able to just teleport away, and it looks like Celery most likely going to die here, as he does throw out the Soul Bind. He's hoping he can buy a little bit more time, maybe make some space, but down he goes. But over in the mid lane here, Aramis and Boom, they just find a kill on mid one. Aramis with the Hex again. Boom doesn't want to stay here any longer. He knows that everyone's on their way, but they teleport out.
They're just pressuring the map so much. I feels like Ember Spirit's just not a useful hero here, honestly. That's what I'm feeling out of this. He had a great laning stage. He pressured well and got some kills. Yeah, he made some mistakes, but also like his impact compared to Void Spirit or Monkey King just doesn't feel the same in these fights. Maybe it's different if they have a different carry or something like that, but it just, like, he's slight chaining people, and that's fine, but it's not doing enough. They need, like, save or something to save Gyrocopter, but, like, their opponents are just outmaneuvering them. They have a lot more built-in mobility. That's got to be at least some of it. Their disables and their kills just feel easier.
I mean, one of the things that I always see with like a gyrocopter generally is something to buff him, right? Or as Brian would say, you know, a steroid. You know, whether it's an IO paired up with a gyrocopter or, you know, Bloodlust, anything. Is that one of the reasons why that feels like it's falling a little bit flat right now?
I would agree if mid one's net worth hadn't been so good.
Okay.
Like, he clearly stacked, his allies stacked for him. He farmed efficiently, but every engagement has been him getting stunned and chain stun to low, then he pops BKB, but it's too late for a hero like Gyro. So that's what's made the game hard. Like, maybe it's itemization, but in reality, it's probably mostly just that his opponents have been engaging on him and not vice versa. But it's hard for OG to initiate. Like, it has to be Nyx, maybe, or they want to set Underlord in the front. He gets initiated on, his opponents respond once Underlord gets initiated on, but it's like they're not turning well enough. Underlord isn't quite tanky enough here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's
at least against the silence.
That's been the problem, is that, you know, Seb has been very forward. We see them, you know, start out with that Pit of Malice holding people into place, but the BKBs are up and running, and he's a tanky boy, but it just doesn't feel like he is.
Yeah, they're putting enough damage into him. He can't infinitely tank. He's got the 20 health regen talent at least now, so that'll buy him a little bit more in the fights, but maybe he should have bought Hood a little faster this game. The Crimson made a lot of sense, but maybe Hood into Crimson would have been overall better for his team. Kind of hard to say. I just feel like OG hasn't had a normal team fight, with the exception of like maybe one or two. Almost every engagement has been Boom taking good engagements, getting pickoffs, and starting fights on the right heroes.
All right, well, you can see that Viking, they're playing very tight right now. Everybody grouped around here in the castle area. They get a couple D wards off. And I feel like this is very smart the way that they're playing right now. We have the Shard over online for Shadow Shaman. That is like one of my favorites.
Cool.
So good at pushing out waves, so good at performing ganks.
Jungling, stuff like that. Very good stuff. They're just sitting as 5 on the high ground here. They kind of feel like OG's going to be in slight desperation mode, so that's usually when people start doing smoke ganks together. In reality, they're just hitting creeps, so it's fine. I think mid one's still queuing up Rapier. I think that's definitely where the game is starting to go a little bit. He's got the Rocket Barrage talent. Maybe he'll go Shard. some talk about it being like it does an insane amount of damage, but again against BKBs, not good.
Yeah.
But with Rapier, they could certainly win this game, I think. But they've got to buy time for that.
It's scary a lot of the times though, because I feel like a lot of times when we see mid one queue up the Rapier, it's always where he feels a bit squishy or he's having difficulty staying alive in a lot of these fights.
Yeah. But OG does like drafting lineups that aim for this like really coordinated timing thing. So you might like you can say yes, it's always in these moments of desperation, but they're drafting lineups that are aiming for this window and they don't really care. It's like they're aiming for the window. If they don't miss it, they just keep trying again because they're OG, and eventually they're gonna like really understand the meta and the patch and what they can do and what they can't do. And that's one thing that I respect about them a lot. So even if it looks kind of weak here, obviously DPC is a huge deal, but this is like an OG special. They pick stuff that they think makes sense, and they're gonna do it anyways, even if it ends up being a little weird.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it time and time again, too, with the fact that Secret often does things that seem a little bit strange or just not really the meta, but it's the people that create the meta that are usually the best at what they do. So,
Yep.
But I'm sure some people are a little worried just because, you know, it is the DPC, it is every game, really, really matters here. So it's tough when you see one of your favorite teams going in for something that seems a little strange to you. In fact, Topson, he pops the BKB. It's kind of a weird initiation here. Might be able to go and take down the Grimstroke. They have the vision, so they don't have to worry about that Ink Swell coming in. Step forward, though, coming out from Boom. There's going to be a buyback too from the Grimstroke. The Hex comes out. Boom jumping onto the back lines here. Monkey King Shad getting into position. They want to try to grab Topson. They're not going to be able to. So that is a BKB charge down on Topson, down on Boom, and a buyback now from Celery. This
X changing everything for Ember, because now what he gets to do is force his opponents into weird situations, forcing them to pop BKBs. He just dove the whole team by himself, and with help of Soxa on the backline, killed the Grimstroke, one of the scarier heroes that's preventing Seb from being able to play his game. So, and he doesn't have BKB right now, but the speed and the skill that Topson is wielding is certainly something that can force mistakes like this.
They
so
know that
Viking on the defense.
They just saw the double damage rune disappear thanks to the boar. Viking very much on the defensive. But realizing that, OG just dealt a split, go back to farming.
Yep. They'll clear the mid wave. They'll continue to sit together, using the Necro to spot out Invis heroes to deward any wards. So things are going to reset again for a little bit of time here.
Still feels
They
like
want to kill the Necro.
Yeah, this was very surprising to me when he zipped in after Boom, and then he's just in the middle of all of these heroes.
But with BKB, it's kind of the same situation that OG's been struggling with. Their opponents use BKB, they can't fight. Well, hey, he pops a BKB, he's super mobile. Unless he gets roared there, they can't lock him down. Leveler picked up, and mid one only about 1,600 gold away from finishing his Rapier. So lots of attack. Leveler really good too, bonus damage. If they do win a fight, he's going to tread buildings stupidly fast with Rapier.
All right.
Well, Prism picked up as well. Now over to Ember Spirit. Even lower Remnant recharge times. I like Flicker though. I was going to say Flicker on OG would have been amazing too. Out of the silences from the Void Spirit. But
Not gotten lucky enough to find that on their side just yet. Shard's doing a lot of work here over here on Aramis. He's able to help push out lanes and put that pressure down onto the map, which immediately, of course, does get countered by No Tail, but it's just the push and pull of things right now in this game where Roche, they really want to seem to get in there, but they just haven't found that advantageous way of getting in.
mid one having a big crisis here with his neutral items. He's got 3 really good ones. Yeah, Pen Edge, Sword, Ninja Gear, Leveler. He's like, oh god, I want them all. Also good. He's going to sit on Ninja Gear though.
Yeah, just keep one in your backpack for now, you know. There'll be time to hit buildings later on, hopefully.
Exactly. If they win a fight, he'll swap in Leveler, crush buildings. Who didn't quite get the range. Necro there. Just wanted it bad, doesn't get it. Almost got the Rapier.
Oh,
70 gold to go. It's going to cross the map though.
and I feel like that Roche is going to be even more important for the side of OG to get their hands on.
So we have with the Rapier, absolutely.
Yeah. It's just been sitting there, though. Had a couple skirmishes around the pit. And we do have quite the pressure coming out from No Tail, especially when you have those really big treants. They do so much damage. They've got so much health as well.
That's the obese treants, I remember.
They're not obese, Purge. We've talked about this. They're just very voluptuous. But look at that. They just immediately clean them up. That sweet, sweet 18 to 24 gold that you get for those.
Rapier.
It's done.
They really want to go in, but they've got they do have better vision around the Roche pit right now. Just a lot of sentries on the side of Viking, but they got to be so careful.
They have a gem too now over on the side of Viking.
They killed all the trees by Roche pit too, so no Monkey King able to stand on the cliff. That's what they were waiting for, I think. That's scary. The hawk is in the area.
It's
Smoke
so
is used.
scary. All right, smoke is up. They're looking for a way to catch them by surprise here as Boom very forward. But who's your initiation? Again, we talked about this.
And if they can catch somebody with a blink impale with Gyro doing damage for 2.5 seconds, that's a kill.
We'll send the Necro Books out, do a little bit of scouting. There is the Arcane Rune that's up and running over there. Tops and bottles it up, they're aware. Socks it.
Time's out.
They've got a nice ward here down over on the low ground. For that smoke to pop. Just a brief flirtation back and forth between both teams. They're very reluctant to hard commit here.
The seeds of fortune.
So scary. There's no buyback on Gyro. I mean, if he dies, Rapier's gone. Game is effectively over. Rapier in the hands of either Void Spirit or Monkey King would be really terrifying. So, yeah, they have to be so careful what they do here. Dire now scanning because they're a little outmaneuvered for a moment. Gyro does have a TP available, so he could go to the Shrine if the fight does start happening. Thompson's got buyback. Most people have buyback.
Thompson's just going to spend a little time chilling in the trees here. Does have the Arcane Rune bottle that he got earlier. And you just keep seeing the battle of the units. Treants go in. Boars, birds, Necro units. But they're in the pit now. Viking needs to get over there soon. But how do they approach this? Hawk's going to go out. Trying to gain a little bit of vision. Zip forward here, coming out from Thompson. Immediately the dodge from Boom.
Oh, they're going in.
Use the Yules over here onto Kazik, but he does have the BKB, and over on the back, Boom going and dropping down all of the damage that he possibly can. Sub's trying to get everybody into the car, but mid-1 he goes down! Divine Rapier picked up now on Void Spirit. Oh.
A rough one. They kind of committed. Thompson jumps in, trying to slow things down, but they use the trees near this large camp to jump in the rest of the way. And once he's in and pops BKB, he also stunned Gyro pretty early there. BKB didn't come out on mid-1 just fast enough, and as a result, he just stayed way too long. Took too long for him to get out of that fight. So now they got to get the Rapier back.
Yes, they do. That is what they're looking for here, but there's a lot of damage being dumped out over onto Soxlugo to get the stun up. Thompson remnanting forward. He's looking to see maybe they can get it down, but not quite enough damage as finally they do manage to get that Aegis Kaiser trying to run away. He's just getting chased down by Thompson. He's going to go down. Boom, stepping forward, has his eyes over onto Sox, but he's too far away. They're going to be able to go. They fight. They take him down. They get the Rapier back online now here for Ember Spirit as Shad is forced to run away. Yules will set up very nicely for the Impale. Thompson coming in hot here. He's got No Tail as well. Go eat the cheese. BKB comes out. They'll turn right back around again. They get the Hex. They're holding him into place. They have the balance. Down goes Thompson. They can go and they can pick that Rapier right back up again as soon as they can get over there. And it is going to be Monkey King snatching it back up. No Tail on the run. He's trying to get away. Soxy takes so much damage from that one monkey on the back lines. Buybacks coming out en masse. This Rapier is just a game of hot potato.
We've seen some net worth swings in the last 45 seconds. All right, well, his Courier's very dead, unfortunately. Thompson trying to buy prep for his Lincoln Spear. He needed it in that fight for sure. He had the Rapier, but the Shaman blinked forward, utilizes BKB, and guaranteed the lockdown to secure the Rapier. Went back into the other hands, but I mean, based on how things are looking, this game is still potentially winnable for OG. They just got to get the Rapier back. At least the Aegis is gone, so any pick you get puts you in a great spot. But this is what's scary about it, is that Monkey King now has the Rapier himself, arguably the better between himself and Void Spirit, and he's queuing up a Satanic. So if this guy just stays alive, fight's over, and his raw HP is insane right now.
This would be a huge upset. Viking not sitting even in the top 4 right now for rankings of the DPC, and I think it'll surprise a lot of people if they're able to take this game.
Radiant's middle tower
It would be it would definitely be a big upset. Really mess up. I mean, it's like who's supposed to go down in Tier 1, Division 1 in Europe? It's like somebody's going to get disappointed, basically.
There has
This
to
could
be,
really shake things up.
Has to be a loser, unfortunately. So we shall.
Has to go stomp Division 2 next season,
Right.
basically. That's what it feels like.
Well, it's all part of the growing process here, Purge. You know, the only way you get better is if you start playing better opponents. Otherwise, you're just a big fish in a small pond.
Good one thinking about Butterfly next. He's got his cursed in there. Yeah, he's buying out.
All
A
right.
little interesting. 25 agility. Give him some armor. It's okay. It's an help against Rapier's True Strike and all, but, you know. Monkey King's net worth is disgusting with this Divine Rapier pickup. Big swings the last couple fights.
Look at that damage. Oof.
Pharaoh's net worth below almost everybody's on his team, though. More, at least the two cores. Underlord and Ember Spirit all sitting higher. Not fun to lose your Rapier.
No, it's not. It is a big risk, big reward sort of play. And it's funny because we have seen like more and more of these coming out because we see teams, especially OG, looking for those very tempo timings. I kind of miss the old days where it was like the desperation play, right? Where you would see them pick one up and everyone would just get so excited. You'd be breathless. You're like, oh my God, anything could happen. And even though this game, you know, it did get picked up to be that tempo timing, I still really think that this is super fun to watch them move around, and especially when you see it trade so many hands like this. But here we go. Smoke coming out here.
Got Lincolns.
Yeah, so they pop the Lincolns with the Hex. Saksa joining right back in, but there it is. There's a Roar with the Wukong's command, and they just absolutely blow up Saksa. Thompson goes down. No buyback on either one of these guys, as now Viking will just slice through the tower like a hot knife in butter and make their way towards those tier 3s.
He's managed to farm the Butterfly in the meantime, but yeah, 2 heroes dead. It's looking dangerous.
Oh God, the step forward immediately. Is there? Very far forward. Look at this damage. It doesn't matter. That's BKB mid 1. He's trying to get out. He can't. He's just immediately dead. No buyback on this gyrocopter. You do have all of these trees making their way into the Radiant base, but look at how fast Viking just slices through these buildings. Fortifications coming out on both sides. This is gonna be a very rough one here for OG. Again, no buyback on the cores, no buyback on Saksa. They're looking to just end this. They want to just take this victory. The Hex comes out as they just go right immediately over onto No-Tail. They get the kill there. And they'll take down Seb. He buys back. No-Tail actually still alive over on the side, but the buildings, they're going down, Purge. Seb, he's trying to throw his body at them, trying to get any sort of distraction, but there's too much damage coming out from Shad as he murders them. They go and they get the shackles off over the back line. This is looking like a dead No-Tail. GG gets called. Viking have done it. They have taken the series from OG, and they're all smiles. Look at